Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is in memory of Debbie Seelenfreund, my Aunt Debbie Seelenfreund, on the occasion of her Shloshim. Last Sunday, we had a gathering for Debbie Seelenfreund. She passed away a month ago. Aunt of mine from Yerushalayim, made Aliyah approximately 38 years ago. And just want to spend a few moments talking about the Parsha and connecting it to her and her amazing life. Parshat Eikev, past Shabbat was Eikev. Right before on Monday, we were at the 7th, the unveiling, Kamat Matzeva, and the gathering at Morty's house. Uncle Morty's house, he should live and be well. Parshat Eikev, if I'd sum up Parshat Eikev, it was such an appropriate Parsha to lead into the Shloshim. Parshat Eikev, I would say, could be entitled Welcome to Israel. Of course, that term all depends on how you say it. Some people say Welcome to Israel in a very cynical way. Something goes wrong. You lose baggage at the airport, some red tape, other bureaucratic issues. They say, oh, Welcome to Israel. That to me is a horrible thing to say. There's red tape all over the world. There's issues all over the world. There's potholes all over the world. And to go ahead and somehow make that into a negative issue, Davka, in Israel is a terrible thing to do. It sometimes means to me that you're missing the brachot and the glory that we have here in Eretz Yisrael. And you focus on negative things which exist all over the world. And yes, there's some negative things in Israel as well. But welcome to Israel. I guess that's what Israel is all about. Chas v'shalom. It's a very negative attitude. And to me, it's similar to some great people that had a similar attitude 3,300 years ago. Of course, I'm referring to the Meraglim, where they didn't want to come to Israel. They found problems in Israel, issues in Israel, and that's all they saw. They mentioned something good. Yes, it's a beautiful country, but it's a country that eats up its inhabitants. Just stay away. So in my opinion, we should never have that attitude. Never. There's an issue. We should acknowledge the issues and we should work to help improve them. But our general attitude should always be to see the beauty and the brachot and the glory that we have here. So when I say welcome to Israel, I do not mean the cynical way, chas v'shalom. I think Eikev is a different kind of parsha. Welcome to Israel in a positive, helpful, and educational manner. First of all, you have the warning. When you come to Eretz Yisrael, you have the problem, the possible problem of kochi va'otzem yadi. Kochi va'otzem yadi means that you're going to feel you came to Israel. This could be in the first Aliyah, second Aliyah, or the third Aliyah, the third Commonwealth, which we are building right now. And kochi va'otzem yadi, my power, my greatness, I built it all up. God says, chas v'shalom, to think that way. Yes, the Jewish mind, the creativity, the courage, the thoughts of a maverick, how Jewish thinkers are, is amazing. But to think that's all? No, wrong. That's arrogant and it's simply false. And to think it's all the Jewish brain and Jewish power that brought us here in any of the ways of the Aliyot is just wrong. We love Jewish creativity and Jewish thinking and the Jewish independence, but Kochi v'otzem yadi has no place. But it's all mine. Without God's blessings, all of our planning has been amazing over the last 2 centuries. Every single Jew that was involved in Israel planted seeds, planted seeds, planted seeds. The agricultural seeds, the economic seeds, the military seeds, the spiritual seeds, all the Jews involved. But we could plant all the seeds that we want if Hashem doesn't water those seeds. And Hashem doesn't bless those plans, they're for naught. We need God to bless our plans. Now we appreciate that the Groz Talmidim and the Baal Shem Tov's Talmidim, some Sofia's Talmidim came 200 years ago, getting the ball rolling, and the Chavavei Tzion and Herzl and the military, everyone played a role. But let's face it, with all of Herzl's plans, 1897, the first World Zionist Congress, where he sang, we're going to put it together, we're going to put it together. He was worked himself to death, literally. And he said, maybe 5 years, 10 years, but within 50 years, we're going to have a state. And he worked so hard for that dream, and it happened just about 50 years from the time he made that statement. But how did this date occur? With all of the planning of all the people that planted the seeds. And in 47, when he had the vote, Russia helps tip the scales. Russia votes that we should have a Jewish state. That's from above. We have to understand all of God's parts over here. Man plans. The expression goes that man plans and God laughs. I don't think that's a simple expression. Sometimes it's true. Man plans, and then man davens for Hashem to bless those plans, and then we hope and wait for Hashem to do that. So therefore, the Torah warns in this week's Parsha, Kochi votzim yadi. Independently, you did everything without siyata d'shmaya, without help from God. Chas v'shalom to say such a thing. We need God to bless all of our endeavors. We need to initiate. We need to be involved. We need to plan. We need to daven them. Hashem, please bless my plans. So that's Kochi votzim yadi. Then the pasuk also warns us in the parsha. So you'll say, fine, it's from Hashem. I agree. Hashem blessed. But Hashem blessed these plans because of me. Because I'm such a high level. We never had a generation like we have now. We never had people like we have now. We never have a person like myself. And therefore, we merit divine intervention like no one else does. He says, fine, it's very good you're bringing God into the picture now. But there's a lot of arrogance there as well, assuming that you merit it. And the pasuk in Akev says, Hashem, when he brings God, his hashgacha, his providence to the Jewish people, there's a lot of variables involved. There's the fact that maybe the Gentiles, it's their time to be moved out. Another possibility is zuchut avot. There's merit from our forefathers. There's Hashem's will that he decides now is the right time to bring the redemption process and to start it off. And now is the Gulat time, or at least Reshit Smichat Gulatenu. And therefore, don't be arrogant and say, well, you're bringing God in, but it's because of me. That's also not healthy. And there's another dangerous attitude regarding Eretz Yisrael. Person has total faith in God and is very humble, but he pushes everything onto God. Hashem Yazor. How are the Jewish people going to come back home? Hashem will take care of it. How's the economy going to work out in there? Hashem will take care of it. How are the Jews going to defend themselves? How are they going to be protected? Hashem Yazor. And this approach doesn't embrace man's involvement in a serious, rational, pragmatic way, where the military is not so important, and building up a world-class economy, that's not so important. And the focus is only building up some spiritual institutions, yeshivas and kollels, which of course is amazing and is crucial and indispensable for Jewish survival. That's our goal, is spirituality, of course. But this approach doesn't really embrace focusing in on all the pragmatic institutions that are crucial and indispensable as well. And the focus on some is just Hashem Yazor, Hashem will take care of everything, and it's going to be good. I think, in my opinion, that's also a distorted approach. So we have in this week's Parsha, Hashem warning us, don't get involved in the Kochi votzim yadi, where you feel you did everything. You're very pragmatic and practical, but you take all credit to yourself, not helping. Don't go ahead and say, yes, it's Hashem's hashgacha, but Hashem blessed us because of me. I deserve it. A third distortion is we throw everything on Hashem. Hashem's taking care of everything. You're not involved in a pragmatic way at all. Minimal. It's all Hashem. It's all Hashem. And I just have bitachon. Hashem will take care of everything. And I don't really have to be involved in hishtadlut in a very practical manner. That's also distorted, in my opinion. I know there's some rabbis who think differently. And one should read some of Rosh Levitz's writings, Nessel's writings, and others. You'll see different approaches. But to me, I very much embrace Rav Soloveitchik, especially as he states it, The Lonely Man of Faith, the end of chapter 8, where he summarizes it. And also in Halachic Man, footnote 4, though that approach is what speaks to me. A pragmatic approach where we know that as we are involved in all the practical involvements and endeavors that are needed, we need Hashem to bless it. That healthy balance, that's the approach that, in my opinion, we need to build up Eretz Yisrael. Whether it was the first time around Yeshua and all his conquests, and number two with Ezra, and especially now, where after 2,000 years we're building it almost out of nothing. We need every angle, in the military, and the spiritual, and the yeshivot, and the religious, and the economic, and agricultural, etc. So to me, that's Parshat Ekev, and that is welcome to Israel in a beautiful, holistic manner. We can be involved in it practically and spiritually in a good, healthy way. And with that understanding that we have to have that synthesis, we're involved with the proper deed and the proper creed, then we can talk a little bit about Aunt Debbie, about Debbie Seelenfreund. And the deed being two aspects, the practical, all the practical things needed for the country, and the deed also means halacha, that we're involved in halacha in every area of our life. And our life is guided by the Shulchan Aruch, by the halachic system. In every area, whether it's an area that's something that we would have done in Chutz La'aretz, Tefillin, Mezuzah, Hadlakat Ner Shabbat, or all the new areas that we're involved in our lives now, with the army and building hospitals, everything. The goal is to be guided by Torah, by mitzvot. So deed means that our practical involvement in any area of our life, and it should be in all areas of life, building up a nation. We should be involved in all areas, building up the nation, the deeds, and those deeds should be guided by the Torah, by Halacha, by the Shulchan Aruch. And we have the right deed, and then we have the right creed, the right belief that Hashem, I've done everything I can. I daven, please bless everything. Please bless my deeds. With this philosophy, we could talk a little bit about Aunt Debbie. So they just went ahead. I remember like yesterday, redid their home, beautiful home in Inglewood. And Morty's practice is on a high with Dr. Dennis Zichron Livracha in Manhattan. And I remember the family gathering. They're announcing, I think it was 79, 80. I think it was a sophomore, 10th grade in high school. I hear them announcing they're coming to Israel, moving. I'm thinking, what? They're just redoing the house and practice is flying. I'm going to come to Israel, work as a doctor for a few shekels an hour. And the answer is yes, that's what we're doing. Baruch Hashem, the family already had a tradition from the Abers. Herbie and Stanley a decade earlier, and Roberta a few years before, in between the two, late 70s. So as a Masorah in the family, they're going to do that too. And they did. They moved to 23 Achad Ha'am, the apartment of maybe the 10th of the size of the land and the space of Englewood. It's like startling. And I remember when I was in 82, in Yeshivat HaKotel, I remember learning with Regina, they had homework on the Ramban, on the question in Mukdam U'Mu'ucha b'Torah, in terms of the order of the Psukim in the Torah, are they all in order or not? Paragraphs. I remember learning that with her. And then when I was back in Gush in 87, I remember sitting on the couch with Mark in the corner of the living room, discussing a homework from his high school on the Monavuchim. What's the essence of man, chesed, or thought? Because Rambam Monavuchim always talks about the man, the rational philosophical thinker. But yet, what about chesed? And the Rambam tries to synthesize it in chapter 51 of book 3. I remember learning it. I don't remember things so well. But yet I remember learning with Regina and with the kids and in the early years, and then again 87 with Mark. And I remember because it made an unbelievable impression. For people to go ahead and say we need to be pragmatic. And just to hope Hashmashi is going to come and bring us all home. No. We need to come and build up hospitals and build up yeshivas and learn and have our kids learning Torah here in Eretz Yisrael, keeping mitzvot here in Eretz Yisrael. Here's where it's going to happen, and we have to make it happen. Not make it happen. My power, my strength. No. Not It's not that it's going to happen, just Hashem's going to take care of it. No, we need to initiate, we need to move, to follow Torah and mitzvot here in Eretz Yisrael, and we hope and pray Hashem blesses. And that is the Seelenfreund life. Morty was out working, making big bucks in Jarei Tzedek, giving up so much parnasa and money that he could have continued to earn there. And Debbie was at home raising the family during the high school years. What a challenging situation to downsize so much and to raise a family in a new country before Nefesh B'Nefesh, before a lot of things. But she was totally dedicated, producing a family who's going to be involved in Torah and mitzvot and the army and building the nation of Eretz Yisrael here in Eretz Yisrael, not waiting for Hashem to just bring us miraculously on the wings of eagles. No, we need to bring ourselves here and to build. And we need to have the deed and the creed. We need to build, we need to move, raise a Torah family in Eretz Yisrael. A family is going to be involved in all aspects of society here in Eretz Yisrael, guided by Torah mitzvot, and then davening to Hashem, He's going to bless all of our endeavors. And it was that philosophy that helped Debbie, Zichron Levrach, raise this beautiful family, produce children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, Baruch Hashem. And it was that philosophy that let them have an open door. People came, singles, divorced people, widows, and all of us, the cousins that came for the year in Israel. Open door to make us feel at home. Pray for the love of Chesed, and to give that beautiful taste of Eretz Yisrael as well. And to me, Parshat Eikev is really a special parsha to commemorate and eulogize and talk about Debbie Seelenfreund Zichron Levrach. She embodied that parsha of having the deed and the creed, and having that philosophy of being a doer, being proactive, guided by Torah and mitzvos in Eretz Yisrael, in all areas of life, and then davening Hashem, I've done my part, please bless my endeavors. And thank God to see 4 generations of families following Torah and mitzvot in Eretz Yisrael is simply magical. And her efforts bore beautiful, beautiful fruits. We should always remember her and learn from her and be inspired by her. Shalom.